How's it going, everyone? Glad to see you guys are back. About to get into these questions and answers, but first, coffee. Alright guys, about to kick off these questions real quick. Only got a few for today, but the first question is this. I need advice for talking to a guy. He's in one of my classes and he sits behind me. I want to talk to him, but I don't know what to say and I'm really scared. What should I say or do? So, talking to someone that you like or that you're interested in is very intimidating for both males and females. Most people are, afraid to approach someone in fear of rejection, or they're afraid that they may not like them, or that person may not like them, and stuff like that. Basically, everybody has that fear more times than not, and the reason why we have that fear is because we're really interested in that person. If you weren't truly interested in someone, you wouldn't be afraid to approach them. Like, how often are you afraid of approaching, I don't know, a barista at Starbucks to ask for a drink? You're not afraid because it's just, you don't think about it, you just do it. You have to approach the situation in a similar light. You can't worry about, all right, what do I say, how do I say, and stuff like that. Basically, all you're trying to do is just break the ice. Get to know them a little bit, introduce yourself, get their name, get your names, and just some small talk. You don't have to go up to someone the first time and be like, hey, my name's Reed, do you want to go on a date with me? That's not going to work. Don't do that, and you will get rejected most of the times. But I'd say the best thing to do is, if you're struggling with someone, on how to figure out how to approach someone, just start with small talk. Since he's in your class, it's easy. You can turn around and be like, hey, did you understand that last question? Or, talk about, what the professor just said. Oh my gosh, what the professor just said, I totally agreed with him. What were your thoughts on that? Just create some small talk. You could even be sitting there before class even starts and just turn around and just literally introduce yourself. Like, hey, my name's, Jasmine, or hey, my name's Courtney, or hey, my name's Sarah, whatever it may be. And just break the ice. You want to go into this with no expectation of anything. Just merely introduce yourself. Get to know them, create some small talk. Just you're worrying about breaking the ice. And then eventually, as the days go on, the weeks, months, whatever, you're going to be able to figure out real quickly if they might have a similar interest in you. They might approach you. And here's the interesting thing. Most of the time when people are afraid to approach other people, there are a lot of times when that same person can be thinking the same thing, or I want to talk to her, but I'm not sure what she's going to think, and stuff like that, and vice versa. I want to talk to him, but I'm not sure what he's going to think. And you'd be surprised on how often you approach someone and they had the similar thoughts that you did. So don't be afraid of it. Just go for it. If you fall on your face, you fall on your face. But next time it'll be easier, and so on and so forth. You just got to do it. Next question, and yes, this is another relationship question. Got a lot of relationship questions this go around. Don't know why. So I feel like the real Bachelorette. I like two guys, but I can't decide who I'd rather get into a relationship with. Advice? So I've personally never been in a situation where I like, two people equally and happen to see them at the same time and don't know who to choose. This is definitely probably more likely a little rare situation. I feel like some people do go through this though, especially if you're maybe a flirt. But I think the biggest thing when choosing, if you're in a situation where you have, 2, 3, or 4 people, hopefully not any more than that, people that you're interested in, you need to decide, who you're going to go with. I think the best thing is you need to figure out who's going to complement you as a person the best. Who's going to complement your personality, your mindset, your thoughts, what you want to do in life. Because, it's easy to find attractive people. Find people physically attractive is easy. Trying to find nice people is usually easy too. Finding someone who really fits with what you want to do, who you are, how you act, how they act, that's really when it comes down to like a really successful relationship. Someone who is interested in the same things you are. Someone who has the same kind of habits that you do, like, waking up early. Someone who's, clean like maybe you are, someone who's like very structured within their daily lives, I think you're going to want to find someone who matches that, well for you. And if they both match well, then maybe you just need to take a little bit more time and keep digging because, obviously the first, few weeks to a few months of any type of relationship are usually pretty easy and pretty solid. You like everything about them, you don't see any kind of their flaws, but eventually you start to see little things that might, irritate you, or things that you might not be interested in long term. So I think the best thing to do is just find whoever that is, whichever one it is, that complements you as a person the best. Someone's going to fit well within your life, because obviously you're not going to want to get in a relationship short term. You're going to want to get in this for long term value. So finding someone who meets those things that you have is going to be the best person to go with. Best of luck to you. All right, last question of the day. This one's probably going to be a little more in depth. It's my favorite question that I got, and I think it's really going to benefit most of the people that are watching. So here's the question. Lately, I've had a lot of self-doubt. What is your advice on how to deal with this? So as humans, we naturally self-doubt ourselves. We naturally fear, what we're going to do, or what we can do, or what we can't do, or who we are, or who we're not, or who we want to be, and stuff like that. We always kind of go into this place where, we're worried about the future. We have anxiety, or, we don't feel that we're good enough. We don't feel valued. We don't feel like we can approach a situation because of this and this. So whatever the circumstances may be for you as a person, it's all going to be a little different for every person. But the main thing is that a lot of people have self-doubt with an array of things. And the best way to do that is to first and foremost understand what the self-doubt is. Understand where in your life, or what it is in your life that you are doubting, okay? So let's just say, for instance, let's say a new job. Let's just say you're getting into a new job and you're doubting your abilities to be able to perform well, okay? You got to figure out where that self-doubt comes from originally, okay? So the reason that you're experiencing these things is because of your inner beliefs. We're all driven by our core values and our core beliefs, okay? We go through things in life that structure these things, experience the way that we go through these experiences shape our beliefs, many times it's stuff that happened, years before, things that aren't even relevant now. It's crazy to think that, stuff that happened many years ago can affect you today, but it does. And whatever these self-limiting beliefs are, they're there because you've created this story. So whatever the story may be, you had to break that. It could be, oh, I'm not good enough because of this. And 2 years ago this happened, and then the year before that this happens. And the problem is when you get to that rhythm, that state where you're constantly repeating the story, it's going to come true, and you're going to end up self-sabotaging yourself. If I walk into every, I like weightlifting. Let's just say I walk into every lift and said to myself, last gym session I wasn't that strong. Probably not gonna be strong again today, and then 2 hours later I'm like, definitely wasn't as strong, as I was, I'm self-sabotaging myself. And the next time I do that again, last 2 lifts wasn't strong, may not be strong this time. You're gonna end up, the more often you tell that story, then you're gonna end up, repeating it over and over again. So you gotta first figure out what the self-limiting belief is and how to break it, okay? From there, you need to reconstruct better belief systems and reconstruct yourself as a whole, and how to, take yourself through these directions. And the best thing is just change your state, your physical and emotional state, okay? We're all controlled on we're all controlled on what we're doing and how we're feeling and all that stuff like that. You ever get into a moment where, you're just going throughout your day and you randomly just snap on someone, you're pissed off, like, hey, come on, you're whatever it may be, but in reality you're not mad at them, you're mad at something else. Well, the reason you did that is because you were in a state of anger, you're in a state of, anxiety, or a state of, being pissed off at something, and you took it out on them. You have to be able to control your emotional state in order to figure out where you're going. So whatever that belief system that you have to break it, okay? And it could be done through many things. I think the best thing to do is constantly figure out, rituals that you can do to bring you back into a positive state. And it can start with anything. And the best thing, like I said, is the physical state. Imagine like what kind of state I'm going to be in if I do this. If I think about, being happy and I'm smiling in the morning and I got my coffee, my fresh coffee, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the rush in the morning. I see the sunlight and I'm feeling good. My state's going to, I'm going to respond, respectively towards that. If I think I'm feeling good, if I'm putting myself in that state, I'm going to feel good. Okay? Or I could sit here and be, head down sad, and the rest of my life is going to mirror that, okay? It's all about changing your physical and emotional state, and you have the power to do that. You just have to take action, okay? And the best way to do that is change your approach, okay? Many times we get into this habit where, okay, I'm going to try to break something. I'm going to try to, for instance, people who want to lose weight in January, they're like, all right, I'm going to finally do it. I'm going to go to the gym and do this. They go to the gym, maybe a week, and they stop doing it because they don't find the results. Well, the reason they're not finding results is because they're not changing their approach, okay? You always have to change your approach with these kinds of things, okay? So whatever that self-limiting belief is, you got to figure out, first what it is, why it's there, okay? Recreate a new story about yourself, change that belief, make it a positive belief system, and constantly change your approach until you get it right. You're not going to, let's just say, when you were born, and your parents wanted you to walk, how many times did it take them for you to fall down, for them to say, what, you're just not a walker, it's just not going to happen, just stop trying? No, that's crazy, right? Like, why would you ever do that? You wouldn't, okay? So if you're not going to do it there, why would you do it now? Change your approach, change your limiting beliefs, and get into that system. It's all about creating better habits for yourself, okay? And eventually with time, you should be able to break the pattern. But first, you got to figure out what that self-limiting belief is and why it's there. From there, you can start to move forward. All right, guys, so that concludes it for this episode 8 of But First Coffee. I hope you really enjoyed it. As always, leave questions at the bottom, comment below, like the video. Please hit subscribe right down here. If you haven't done so, you can hit that subscribe button. And if you want to keep on track of the videos and you really want to stay dedicated and be my best friend, hit the notification button so you can get emails and notifications about when I post new videos. So keep sending me questions, guys. I'll keep answering them. As always, these answers are kind of try to keep them, I try to keep them in a direction so they can help everybody. I want to keep it a one-size-fits-all and bring you guys ultimate value. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.